Okay, everyone. So welcome to our team call. I am so excited to have Sara as our guest speaker. Sara, you're actually our first ever guest speaker that we've had on a team call, so you should feel super fabulous. I met Sara last year at the New Leader Conference in LA for the 2 stars and above. It was awesome. I got to meet her. I'd seen her on social media, but it was so great to actually get to meet her and talk to her and see how she's grown her business. She is a mama of 2 beautiful girls. She has built a full-time income, working part-time hours, making sure that her family is number one priority. And tonight she's going to talk to us about the entrepreneur roller coaster because, there's ups and downs and ebbs and flows in this business, but those that stay committed and stay consistent all the way through are the ones that are going to stick it through the longevity and have great, great success. So I'm going to open up the floor to Sara. She's going to take it over, and then at the end we can answer or ask any questions of her. Sound good? All right, Sara, it's all you.
Hi, everybody. I'm so honored to be here tonight. And I just want to share a little bit about myself before hopping into the call because it's kind of rolls right into it. I started with Beachbody. I'll give you that story. I started with Beachbody in 2014 and as a coach. But before that, I was on the war path to lose my baby weight from my first daughter. And I needed something simple and at home because going to the gym was just becoming difficult. So I found TurboFire and I found Chalene Extreme, grabbed it on eBay. I know. And loved it. Loved my results. Loved working out at home. Never thought I would. But at first, when I started with these programs, I was home and I was with my daughter, and I needed a network to tap into. I was Googling results, TurboFire results, blah, 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 and Instagram kept coming up. And this was in 2013. And I kept looking and seeing the coach opportunity in addition to people who were doing all these workouts and having great results. And I kept seeing the opportunity to stay home with your kids, be in the best shape of your life, earn full-time income on part-time hours. And all these girls looked amazing too. And I'm like, this has to be such a scam. There's no way that this is real. And lo and behold, we all know that it's a real thing. And it took me a while to research and all this stuff, and finally took the plunge and gave it my 100% because you guys, you can really make this into something that is beyond your wildest dreams. I just had a baby 8 months ago now, and balancing that two now, the two of them plus this business has been hard, but I am still producing an income. And I'm working in the mom cracks of the day. So don't feel you have to come up with this huge plan of action for success. It's just getting what you have to get done every day and trying to find the mom cracks of the day or the little pockets of the day to get it done. And in addition to that, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs as you're progressing through this business, which I'm sure Raquel can account for. The highs are really high and the lows can be really low. So, and I've been through a bunch in my business, but I always remember my why. I always remember why I'm here. And a big part of my why is that I was really sick after I had my daughter. Long story, but health and fitness really pulled me through, especially clean eating, and being able to work out at home made me healthy again. And that's why I'm here. So remembering your why and remembering that it's not always going to be rainbows and roses and sunshine and all your major successes. There's going to be big ups and big downs. So I'm here to share with you tonight a little bit about how to get through those with grace. So I'm going to share my screen. And I call it the entrepreneur roller coaster. So riding through the ups and downs with grace. So with this business, we all know that all you need is Wi-Fi and a dream, right? We are super lucky to have this opportunity. All you need really is somewhere to do your job, you need to have a huge vision, and you need your $40 investment. And if you don't have that, that's what I did to sign up, obviously, because I bought my programs on eBay. But you can buy something, say now the All Access Challenge Pack, for less than $200, and you're buying into a business, okay? I have my MBA, so I have a background in business, and I remember in school studying companies, studying businesses, studying, what made them successful, how long did they take to start up, and what was their history, what was their, their investors thinking, are they public or private, all this stuff, right? I always wanted to own a business of my own. I wanted to own a boutique in Saratoga Springs, where I live, and right up on Broadway. And as I got older, and as I researched more, and as I went to school for it, I was like, wow, this is going to cost a lot of money to invest in a business. I need to get another loan in addition to all my student loans. And it was at least 1 to 200,000. And I didn't even know if I would be successful. And on top of all my other debt, I'd have this to pay. And if you think about maybe starting up a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donut or a chain, you need to come up with even more money than that. And when you're opening your own business, like this is our own business, we are entrepreneurs. When you open up your doors to your business, you need to think about marketing. You need to think about your overhead. You need to think about your customers. Are they going to come in? Are they going to buy your products? You need to think about how you're going to spread the word. You need to think about your shipping, your customer service. So you need to, and so much more, but this is the basic stuff that is on your plate. And talk about the stress that comes into play with that. Sure, you probably have a dream to be independent or to be financially free. But do you really want to come up with all that extra money and assets in order to open up a business when you have this in your hands for a $40 investment, or for the cost of a challenge pack where it was an investment in yourself? So think about that. You're an entrepreneur. You're a CEO of your own business. And I think a lot of times coaches can play into that. Like, oh, it was only $40, or it was free essentially because I signed up with a challenge pack. So they don't give it what they would give it if they had invested hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you have to have that mindset in this, because this is $1 million business. There are so many $1 million earners in this company. And if you just put in the time, the dedication, the consistency, and really stretching yourself out of your comfort zone, guys, you can really, really create some financial independence and some financial freedom for yourselves. But you've got to control the controllable, and you've got to get your mind right. So I know that you're probably well-versed in this, and you probably understand that you have to have the right frame of mind before you start anything, because whether you fail or whether you succeed, it has to do with what you're telling yourself every day. What's your story that you tell and you recite in your head every day? What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe that you can achieve? The most important muscle in your body is your mind. Okay, so if you can visualize yourself, and if you can believe yourself, like I did, I wanted to stay home. Once I became a mom, I wanted to stay home. Okay, and I envisioned myself being able to work at home in my cozies on the couch with the kids, and being successful so that I never have to go back to work again. And knock on wood, that's happened, okay? I've been able to create a full-time salary off of part-time hours, essentially. The first 2 years, I worked my butt off, let me tell you. But I loved it, and it was super rewarding, and I had that goal in mind. And, there's nothing that can stop you if you have your mind in the right place. So I suggest pumping yourself with motivational YouTube videos every day, podcasts, personal development books, because that whatever you tell yourself is what you're going to achieve. So if you're negative, if you're constantly, complaining about Beachbody, or that no one's saying yes to you, everyone's saying no, then guess what? Guess what's going to happen? You're not going to really get too far. So telling yourself the possibilities that you can believe it and all this stuff is really going to get you ahead of the game. And in addition to that, you have to be able to have your coat of armor on for all of those doubters, those people that are telling you that this is a scam, or they're laughing at you, or they're wondering what you're doing. Volume issues, we all know that's been going on, and it's a big thing. It's serious, but you have to push through, do what you can do, control what you can control, and try to do your best to still create that freedom and that vision that you have for yourself with this business. People are going to quit on you. That's just, I've had diamonds quit on me without me even knowing. It was been like, what, we were working together last week, and this week they're like, yeah, I think I'm going to take a step back. I'm like, what? Like, we were almost there. We were there for you. We were working for you, and they just quit. People go MIA all the time. Challengers go MIA. People say no. I mean, we know this, but you can't take a no as, I'm going to go hide under the pillow. Like, just keep going. I don't know how many messages I've sent out that I don't even care if they respond. It's just the people that do are the ones that I focus my attention on. People are going to return stuff. You have unsupportive friends and family. All these things are going to happen. Okay. This is the peaks and valleys of your business. It sucks, but guess what? The things that can really go right, that do go right, are put you on such a high. If you can get through this little speed bump and this little dip, I swear, the rewards are worth it. So with this business, I'm just going to try to move this, and compared to a 9-to-5. So I worked in corporate for a couple years, many years, I guess. And I never had a job that I absolutely loved. I was there to clock in and clock out and get my paycheck, right? I dreaded Mondays. I lived for Fridays, and I was getting paid for that time that I was there from 9-to-5, 7-to-4, whatever it was. I had absolutely no control of my income. I got maybe a 2% increase every year. I had no control of my time, no control of the people around me. I mean, how many times have you worked with someone or a few people that you just tolerate because you have to, and they're there? Mind you, there are great people probably too that you work with, but you don't have control over that. With this, you do. You don't have control over your destiny or your life design. Like, how crazy is it that no matter if you work harder in this business, you can essentially build a life of your own design versus working in corporate finance like I was. I didn't have any control over that. I had to do what they told me to do. I was a robot. I had to pass whatever test they needed me to pass, and I had to be there from 9-to-5. With this, you have so much more freedom. When you're in the 9-to-5, you're building someone else's dream. And if you don't go out and build your own dreams, you're going to work for someone who's going to be building their own. So that sucked for me. Like, I remember working for independent people as well as big corporate companies. And it just, I'm like, I'm not even building anything for myself. Yeah, I'm building my resume, but this doesn't make me happy or fulfilled. And some aspects of your job you must love, right? Like, I loved finance. I loved learning about the stock markets and investments and all of that. But there was a lot of other things that I didn't like, but I had to deal with it, right? And that's what people bitch about on a day-to-day basis, is all the stuff that they hate, and it just festers. And I remember that. But with this, it's something you can totally control. What you put in, you'll get out. If this is a passion for you, I say, like, run with it, because it definitely is a passion for me. I feel like you really need to be working in your passion or whatever, like, thing you're good at or thing that you love. You need to follow that and figure out how to make money doing it, because money is something that we all need. You need to be fighting for your own dreams. This can be something for you that can be a gateway to other things in your life. So say you want to open up a charity, say you want to open up a foundation, say you want to start a school. So I have coaches who want to open up their own gyms, and they're using this to work towards the financial independence to be able to do that. So this can often be a platform or a gateway for you to build towards other dreams of yourself, for yourself too. This is something that's super flexible. And 9 to 5 wasn't flexible. I had to be there when I had to be there. And I had 2 weeks of sick time or vacation time, whatever it was. And that just always annoyed me. Like, how are you going to tell me that I only can take 2 weeks off this year? Like, in 52 weeks, I can only take 2 weeks out of that time. Oh my God. And I can only be sick 5 days. Like, that just always I don't know. I couldn't wrap my head around it. Yes, they were paying me, but with this, it's something like I had a baby and I could just lay on the couch all day and be with her and just work from my phone, or not if I didn't want to, and that's what makes me work in this business, is because I'm working for something that I love versus working the 9 to 5, making a kind of like a pigeonholed salary. And really, what are you doing for that? What is that going to give you? Is that going to give you the investment property that you want, or the foundation that you want to open, or the student loan payoff? With this, and the possibilities are totally endless. So, okay, I don't know if you guys were just on the income surge call with Miguel, but he talked about you need to remove your feelings from this business. And I completely agree. You have to control the uncontrollable, and you can control your mind, and you can control your emotions. You cannot show up to your 21-day fix fitness program when you feel like it and expect results, right? The same is true for this business. You cannot just show up when you feel like it and expect to have that financial freedom, to have the debt paid off, to have your life built by design. You have to work. And it starts out with an hour a day, but as your business grows, you have to show up for it. You have to be there, and you have to take your emotions out of it. You have to take your emotions out, number one, for when people are saying no, for when people aren't supportive, for when you thought, like, you crafted this hour-long post, you thought it was going to be amazing, you spent an hour on PicMonkey, you had the beautiful graphics on it, beautiful writing, and you got 3 likes. Who cares? You cannot get emotional about it. You cannot get upset. This is a business. You have to have a business mindset when it comes to it. You just got to roll forward. Your mind controls your emotions, and your emotions control your actions. So if you get up one day and you don't feel like doing this business, you don't feel like inviting, you don't feel like doing the power hour, guess what? Who does every day? No one. But if you just give into that, and you give into those feelings, guess how far your business is going to get moved? Not much. So you've got to know that this is a business. You are an entrepreneur, and that things that need to get done need to get done. How many of us feel like actually getting up to get a snack for our kids every time they ask? Not every time, but I have to do it. I'm their mom, right? Just like with this business, you have to do the things that you don't always feel like doing in order for you to move forward. So your coat of armor, like I kind of mentioned at the beginning, I believe in this business there are 6 fundamentals that you need to have in play all the time in order to build your business and to help you through those peaks and valleys, right? Because like I said, the highs are going to be super high. The lows are going to be super low. And sometimes when you hit those lows, give yourself the 24-hour pity party and just move on the next day. Because like I said, this is a business, and you cannot have your emotions control your mind in this business and your actions. So number one, relationship building is huge in this business, as you know. Don't think of wanting to sell a challenge pack as going after people and hounding them and hoping they say yes. Build the relationships. Find something with people that you can communicate on together. Find something you can talk about. Find something you can laugh about together. That is what a majority of my day is done, is just talking to people. I'm not going to go after them and be like, hey, you want to join my next challenge group? No, they've got to get to know me first. They've got to see what I can offer. They've got to check out what I'm putting out there so that they learn to trust me. And that's when your business will start to blossom, is once you start learning that the relationships are the primary source of you having success. I don't care half the time if they're going to buy a challenge pack. If I can help them, and if maybe they can help me in my life somehow, that's great. And that's the beauty of this business is learning about people, meeting new people, and especially if you're a mom, I found that this is really cool, and just learning different things on, being a mom, how to take care of your kids, what tricks work, what tricks don't. And in doing that, people learn to trust you. And I'm telling you, out of the woodwork, they'll be like, I've been meaning to ask you about your groups. Are they 30 days? Are they 30 minutes? Blah, blah, blah. So relationship building is huge. Personal development. I cannot stress this enough. I hound my coaches about this, but it's huge. 10 minutes a day, start with. I have podcasts on in my car. When I'm cleaning the kitchen and doing things, I'll have YouTube videos on. Like I said in the beginning, your mind is your most powerful muscle in anything, really. So you've got to get your mind right, and personal development is part of those fundamentals. Believe in Beachbody, believe in yourself, believe in these products and programs. That's why it's so important to have a transformation of your own, to be drinking Shakeology every day, to know that this is a successful endeavor that you've signed up for. And as long as you can get out of your own way and get out of your own head, you can really have success as long as you don't let the negative beliefs take over. A why is so important. I hear from my new coaches all the time, I'm here because I like to help people. And in fact, being a coach is helping people. That's what we do. But why are you here? There has to be a deeper reason, like in your gut, that you are here. And you have to find that out, whether it's through journaling, whether it's through just deep reflection, whether it's through whatever you got to do. Find out why you're here, because that's going to help you when those dips occur. Adding to your network every single day. That's huge. It's important. At least 3 people a day. And when they accept your friend request, send them a "Hey girl" message. Just shout them out, compliment them on something on their page, ask them a question, just to get the conversation going. And a transformation. Like I said, I think it's so important to have your own transformation, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical or mental, but it's super, super important to have your own transformation, to share that in your posts and with your customers. And it's also really important to have goals in this business. You cannot just be here and be like willy-nilly about what it is you want to achieve. You've got to have them be compelling in order to transform your life. Like for me, at the time when I signed up to be a coach, I was a substitute teacher, because when I graduated from that degree, I didn't want to work full time because I just had my daughter, Gabby. And I was like, shoot, I just graduated with this master's and I don't know if I want to work. So at the time I just could sub, which was perfect. But I didn't want to sub anymore once I got into this. And I needed to make just a couple extra $100 a month to keep us afloat and to keep us okay. And as that grew and as my business grew, my goals grew, and they were compelling enough for me to never have to go back to a 9-to-5 or to be away from my kids. I really wanted to be that present parent because my mom always worked. So that compelled me enough, and it still does. Having a specific plan, so writing down goals. So what are your goals that you want to achieve this month? And then break it down by week. Or what are your goals that you want to achieve in the next 6 months? Break it down monthly, then weekly, then daily. You need to have a specific plan, because that's going to keep you going too. You can't just think you want to be a Star Diamond coach by December and not have any idea of how you're going to get there, because it takes daily action to get you there. And why do you have these goals? Why are they important to you? Is it important to a Star Diamond to have the rank, or is it important to you to have income and have to? And why is income important to you? Why is rank important to you? Constantly reevaluating your goals too. My goals have changed so much And as you achieve one goal, you move on to the next, or maybe you don't achieve it in your time frame. So you just reevaluate and set yourself on a different path still to achieve that goal, but maybe in a different way. And this is so important too, thinking about what you want in your life in the long run and what do you want right now. So again, taking those feelings out, because an entrepreneur cannot live life according to, if I have a cold and I don't feel like showing up, I had a fight with my boyfriend, I don't feel like showing up, my kids are ripping my hair out, I don't feel like showing up. Think about what you want for your long term. And with this business, really, if you like suck it up for a good 5 years, maybe 10, okay? That's a small fraction of your life compared to a 35-year career, where then you retire, maybe with a good retirement, and then you live your life. Like, no, you can do that now when you're young. You just have to show up and get your emotions out of your business. And also, fear, I think, stops a lot of people. And I always tell my coaches, if you're afraid of it, then that means you have to do it. So if you're afraid to make this post, if it gives you butterflies, if you're afraid of what people will think, post it. If you're afraid to respond this way, then you should. Because thinking about what could happen and you're afraid of that, you allow nothing to happen. And the fact of the matter is, no one's perfect. You fail forward and you learn from your mistakes. And on top of that, things that you're mostly afraid of and the things that you think are going to happen almost never happen. So it's important to just push through that, plow through it, get what you need to get done. Don't worry about what other people think. Think like an entrepreneur. You're a business owner, and get what you need to get done. And stop thinking about what's always wrong, what could go wrong, what's failing, what's not happening, because thinking about what's going right is also available to you in your mind, and you need to focus on that more. And I love this quote. It says, it's all connected. Your gifts, your circumstance, your purpose, your imperfections, your journey, your destiny, everything you're going through and you've experienced, people you've talked to, failures, things that have gone right, it's all creating your own experience and it's molding you for something better. So embrace it all. Don't get stuck on the speed bumps and just keep pushing forward. So that's all I got.
Thank you, Sara.
You're welcome. I wanted to keep it to a half hour for you guys.
Oh, you're so good. You're so good. Does anyone have questions for Sara on like how she's built the business or anything that she said today? I know for me, there was a lot of like really great nuggets. Mindset, I think, is so, so key. Personal development is everything. I feel like I'm just such a personal development junkie because I know for me, if my mindset's not right, nothing in my business seems to be going right if I don't have that under control.
Exactly. Or in your like home life, fitness, anything, you know?
Yes. So anybody have questions? You can unmute
You're
yourself.
welcome.
Let me look. Chatting. Jessica said amazing. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So amazing job. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
I was wondering, so I couldn't remember when you said this. Did you get started before you had kids or when you had already had your 2 kids?
So I got started after I had my first daughter, who's 4 now.
Okay.
She was a year and a half.
Okay. Do you have any coaches that are not moms?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you motivate? I'm sure it's frustrating for you sometimes when, you know, you have kids and you're busy and you have coaches that don't and they feel busy as well, or, you know, how do you, it's all relative.
Right.
You know, how do you kind of help people with that? I loved, you said something like, you just got to do it, like suck it up. And I love that, like gut punch. So how do you kind of get, obviously you have to work with the willing, but what's kind of a strategy to motivate without being too pushy?
So I have a coach I'm thinking of, and she's single. She just quit her job to do this. And her biggest stress, right, or her biggest struggle right now is time management because she has too much time. And she's like, I like to sleep in. I can now. And I want to do this and do that. And I'm like, no, like you've just got to get it done. Like, why don't you just get up and just get what you have to get done first? and then then you have the whole day to go shopping, lay in the sun, whatever you want to do. But like for me, I have no time during the day. Honestly, like the baby, she's right here. She's probably going to wake up. She gets me up at like 6. I should just get up at 5, but she's up through the night. And it's like, I just work through the mom cracks of the day. Like I said, we're working on getting a sitter right now. But anyway, if you don't have kids, are you working full time?
Yeah, I do work full time.
Yeah, I have a coach who's also working full time. She has 3 kids too, but she is like skyrocketing right now in this business, and she just gets up in the morning, gets her workout done. That's a post. Then she goes to work, and then during her lunch hour, she follows up with people, sends messages, does as much as she can do, and does a food post or something. And then at night, her posts are always about kids, like her kid life and her mom life or whatever. And then when the kids go to bed, because they go to bed pretty early, she'll do some more work until she goes to bed. And that's all she really needs. You know, you don't need a ton of time. You really don't. Like if I worked 8 hours a day on this, I would find things to do. But what's important is building relationships, posting about what you're doing, posting about your story, sharing you, not sharing Beachbody. Share you and your own story, because that is what will set you apart from everyone else out there. And that's it, like relationship building, sharing your story, and inviting. If you're not inviting, then we all know what happens. But I feel like it's easier to invite as you're building those relationships versus like reaching out to a random and inviting, because that we all know like that's not as likely to happen. But if you're talking to someone for a couple months and then you're like, hey, Kristen, I don't know if this would even interest you, but I'm running a blah, 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 and it's super fun, and I thought of you. Would you want more information if I sent it to you? And that's exactly what I say, and it gets it rolling. And if she says yes, then I know, okay, great. Like I know she would be interested. And she obviously trusts me because we've been chatting back and forth about whatever, kids, being a mom, fitness, clothes, whatever. And that's how I personally build my business. So as long as you're doing those things, no matter who you are or what you've got going on during the day, I think, you know, that you'll be pretty successful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, anyone else have questions for Sara? Now is the time. She's not on our team, so it's so great to like ask questions and get a different perspective.
How do I ask a question or get her to see me, or is it?
I can see that.
You can see
Okay. Okay, so I think my biggest thing, I have learned a lot that building relationships by far has already helped me dramatically, because when I first started, I've only been doing this for like 3 weeks. And when I first started, I was just like cold inviting more, but I wasn't getting a whole lot of, you know, conversation.
Yeah.
But when I started to build relationships, I really start to see like what you were saying, like, I've been meaning to talk to you. Like I've been seeing all of your posts and things like that. But then I would have a bunch of people say like, yes, I'll do it next week. Like when I get paid. But then when I follow up, like I never really hear back or something, or they want to actively coach and they'll say yes, but then they don't. So I'm just trying, I guess, more advice on like how to follow up or like get them to do it, because I had like a ton of people say yes, but then when I follow back up, it's kind of like
crickets.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of like, oh no, like I thought I had all this great, like
yeah, and
so
that's the number one thing. Don't depend on anyone. Like I remember, like as a newer coach, I had a month of like, oh, I've got this in the bag. Like I have so many people that said yes, and we went on vacation. It was March, and I was like, oh my god, I'm at Success Club 4, and it was the end of March.
That's what it is. I like pulling my hair out.
And I remember Lindsay Matway messaging me like, girl, what are you doing? More point. So I took out, we were on vacation. So I took a picture of myself in my bathing suit, which I've never do. Right. Yeah. And I was like, 81 more days till summer. And people were like, oh gosh. Yeah. Like it was a reminder to people.
Yeah.
So all I suggest to you is keep posting like your journey, how great you're feeling. Befores and afters are huge. Like when I was pregnant, even I would post a lot of what I looked like before and talked about how great I felt, how easy it is. I never knew about this before, blah, blah, blah. Because I didn't. And the more you do that, the more you're planting seeds. People need to see things like 14 times before they're ready to commit.
Right.
And you have to think of this. This isn't buying a mascara. It's buying a commitment that they have to be ready for.
Right.
And it's our job to share our story enough that they see themselves in our transformation, in our struggles, and they want our successes.
Yeah.
And be like, oh my gosh, you are so inspiring. I'm ready. Like, I'm going to do this. Tell me.
Yeah.
So by dropping hints, planting seeds, talking about, thank God my girls in my virtual boot camp were posting this morning. It got me, fired up for my workout because I don't feel like working out every day,
Right.
Being so real and so transparent, and people can relate more to your struggles than they can relate to, yay, I've lost 20 pounds. Like, good for you. But how was this, share your struggles. Like, I wanted the ice cream, but I stuck to the water, or, I didn't want to do the 30 minutes today, but I felt so good after, and this is why. And because I just get, like, I just question what's too much following up, like, or how soon is it kind of thing. Like, I don't want to overly, like, hey, just checking in again, I just follow up twice. And then if I get nothing, then I add them to my list and I'll follow up with them again next month.
Okay.
And throughout that month, I'll like and comment on their pictures and, give them compliments and, genuinely take an interest in them. And it's hard to not genuinely take an interest in people if you aren't in this for the right reasons, I feel like.
Yeah.
So, because you have to connect with people on your level. And that's what that's what makes this so great, is that you can really connect with people who are just like you, who enhance your life. So by doing that, like, she'll see, by you reaching out to them and commenting and liking on their stuff, they're going to see your posts more. It's super important to post 3 to 5 times a day.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about it. Keep them in your funnel, in your list, and just keep going.
Okay. I think I can do that.
Yeah. Great question.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
So in the chat, Marcia asked, how do you talk to enough people in an hour a day and connect enough to build a relationship?
Okay, so this is how I like to think of it. If you think about a tiny, tiny spider web, right, like in the corner of your basement, that's what your network looks like when you first start as a coach. If you etch away at it, right, every day, adding 3 new people, it becomes eventually this huge web of people. It does. So this isn't going to happen in 3 months, right? You have to continually be talking to people. That's why it's always important to start with friends and family, because they already know, love, and trust you. Hi, honey. They know, love, and trust you, right? So you want to get other people to know, love, and trust you. So that's why it's building every day. And for me, it really did take an hour at first, because I did the business activity tracker, where you add 3 people, you talk to 3 people, you follow up with 3 people. And then, like, throughout the day when I was with my daughter, I would, I always had my phone. Not that I was on my phone all day, but if she was on the swing at the park, I would respond to people. But it really does start with an hour a day. And as you grow, obviously you need more time. But just by slowly etching away, like, if you guys haven't read The Slight Edge, I suggest you do, because it's the consistency over time that gets the well pumping for you to build a business. I'm coming.
Well, thank you, Sara. I know you have a little crying baby, so we'll let you go. But thank you so much for talking to our team. Such great information. We really appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Express. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, real quick, guys, before we go, just a few things I wanted to touch base on, and then, Jessica or Laura, you can speak up too. We have our new coach boot camp starting tomorrow. We will post that link in Team VIP. It's the same link. Remember, y'all are always, and we don't take anybody out of the group. So when you feel like you're ready to come out, you take yourself out. But sometimes it helps to see that information multiple times. Another very, very important thing that I want to talk about, I don't know if you saw in the coach breaking news, but there was a new policy and procedure that came up this week that coaches that are in another MLM network. So another MLM similar to like network marketing for us would be like Rodan and Fields, LuLaRoe, LipSense. There's a bunch of, there's different opportunities. Narium, there's a bunch of different opportunities. They have decided that we as a coach can no longer do that. It used to be if you were a Star Diamond or below, you couldn't be in another network marketing business, but they've decided, kind of across the board, there's a direct selling association associated with all of us. And kind of across the board, that's what different companies are moving towards, just because it gets a little dicey when people are trying to promote different things. We never want to come across as salesy, but sometimes when you're selling, like I have a girl on my newsfeed, bless her heart, and I swear she's doing like 31 gifts. She's doing LuLaRoe, she's doing Stella and Dot, and it's a lot coming at me all the time. And so as a way to really protect the integrity of what we do and the lifestyle that we're promoting, they've decided as a company to really make sure that we're all on the same page. And if we are Beachbody, they want us to go 100% all in, which I'm really excited about that. Like I said, I really think that helps us, withhold our integrity and our brand and what we're doing. And honestly, I want people who are going to be in it just as much as I am. So just wanted to let you know that, because I know that will affect some people. Another question that we've had, I have some discount coaches that are Rodan and Fields, in Rodan and Fields. And it's as long as they are not trying to sell both, we're okay. So, if they are promoting Rodan and Fields, but just want the discount to be part of Beachbody because they love Shakeology, that's 100% okay. It's just the fact that they don't want them to be promoting both, because again, it just gets confusing for people when they're like, wait, what company are you working for? So just kind of want to relay that. If you have any questions about that, feel free to private message me or Jessica. We'd be more than happy to talk to you about that. There was a big Jeff Hill, the president of sales, came in on the wall, one of our groups were on, and he really talked about it a little bit further. But if you have questions on that, it can get kind of, if you're confused, like I said, private message me or Jessica, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you about that. Anything you want to add, Jessica?
No, but it's Jackie just asked if LipSense is included, and I want to say yes, it is. So anything that would be considered network marketing, but if you have a specific one that you're asking about, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to us, because we've been doing a bunch of research over the weekend, just so that we would be prepared if you had any questions, or if your customers have questions, potential coaches have questions, any of that. I mean, it makes total sense, because you gotta go one way or the other. It doesn't make sense to spread yourself thin. So I'm kind of glad they're doing it, because it's better all around. But if you have specific questions, so mostly for our team, it's going to be for potentials coming on board. We have some potentials who are already in something, and so you want to make sure that they're aware of it before they would start, basically. But really, for our team, it won't be that much of an impact, because we're diehards.
Beachbody for life.
Beachbody for life.
Okay, any other questions before we wrap up? Like we said, boot camp is starting tomorrow. So we will be posting the link in Team VIP.
Who's refreshing tomorrow?
Me.
Oh my gosh.
Just
okay, Raquel.
And Jessica.
We're doing it in our veteran challenge group, and the only reason we're doing it is for our challengers, or Raquel and I would never stick to it. And you better just make sure we do it correctly.
Yes.
See
make
shady
sure
eyes in our posts.
Day too.
Make sure we don't cheat.
Okay.
All right. You'll have an amazing day.
Bye, guys.